In this episode, we'll be building a bed with extra storage. Here you see my bike being loaded in, and it is the largest thing that will be going in my car. These totes will be about the same size as the ones I'll be using on my trip, so they'll be great for getting an idea of how much space I need. I also need to figure out how much space I need for my personal body. Before running out and buying a bunch of wood, I went up to the attic in the middle of the day to try and see how much wood we already had. After deciding there wasn't really much to see, I got out of that enormous heat. A couple doodles on a piece of paper and a trip to Lowe's later, I had myself two 2x6 boards. I quickly measured out a rough cut and got to work. Place and measure and cut and repeat. I'm doing this all eyeballing. Here I'm pre-drilling some holes, putting screws in, and finally attaching the top to the back section of this bed/storage area. The first screw is always the prettiest. Here I've made the second section, and for this I'm going to use MDF since I need to recycle quite a bit. 3 pieces of a scrap length happen to be the perfect length for this project. Here I'm attaching the hinges that will allow the back section of this bed to fold, before finding out that my measurements were a wee bit off. So some heavy cutting and modifying later, and it still doesn't quite fit right, but that's okay, it's done now.
So let me show you how this works. It is a triangle bed when it's completely folded up, but as you fold it down, this is how it's gonna look when I'm going down the road most of the time. My front seat still works. At night, converts into a full bed. Now here in the middle, you might notice that there's a hole. And you're right, there is, but it's there for a reason. For storage. That piece fits in just by friction, and I don't think it'll be going anywhere anytime soon. You can also get to your storage just by lifting up. And in the back, of course, there is even more storage. Now those of you watching in 1080p have probably noticed the hinges sticking slightly up. I don't think they'll be that much of a problem because I have these interlocking foam mats that go over the whole thing. With the mats finally in place, we can answer the question, is it comfortable? Ah, just kidding. It's actually quite comfortable. The hinges are off to the left and right, and even when being on top of them, you can't tell that they're there. In addition to these play mats, I'll also have a self-inflating bedroll, along with an air mattress if I feel like it. And there it is, a folding bed with the passenger seat still available. 17.5, 25, 24, 26.
Hope you enjoyed, and remember, why don't you just leave?